And it's live. Welcome to another version of the real underscore G Warner on Twitter, going through the top 5 leagues in soccer. Bridge version, as it's Friday morning here in the US, and the stock market never sleeps. I'm going to start in England where the money is and try to make this an abridged version. So without further, Southampton hosting Aston Villa today on Friday. And Southampton is giving all the juice in the Villa side. Little bit of a surprise. Southampton's offense literally was a top of the box. Great shot from Che Adams, but ultimately, I don't know how anyone can believe or back Southampton offense at this point. Problem is, Aston Villa's offense is not really existent and has existed without Jack Grealish, who's wearing other colors. Half of a goal seems too big to me, but I've not done very well fading Southampton, who take their one chance a game, which is not really sustainable, but ultimately is what has happened. And getting a little money against a team that probably should be towards the bottom of the league again. Moving to Saturday, the big one, which I'm a little bit surprised is opening and kicking everything off, but I'm sure that was a sponsorship bill or the broadcasters, whatever. Manchester United hosting Man City, currently getting 3/4 goal at home. I guess the 5-0 bashing by Liverpool has changed some minds, or maybe Ole Gunnar, whatever. Ole is still there, as far as I know. I don't know. Really surprised that this number is this big. Man City certainly have not looked very good. With Bruges in Champions League midweek. Manchester United, on the other hand, got a really finish to from Ronaldo to get a draw. I mean, United have been terrible though. So even on a number way bigger than I made it, I'm just not sure that I want to play. Though certainly as an underdog player, and Man City giving half of a goal more than I thought they would. It's hard for me to understand this line being so big, with what should be a pretty big home crowd. And I got to say, if this climbs to 1, it's gonna be really hard for me to avoid. Next, Crystal Palace hosting Wolves. That looks like no line currently. I bet online. These are my first looks, by the way. So going live. It looks like Crystal Palace is probably a quarter goal favorite. If I had to guess, big 3-way money lines. And that probably makes sense. I think Wolves have been playing better defensively, has been good for a year now. Offensively has not been their strong suit offense, but every day that Jimenez is back, they're playing better. And ultimately, I think it's been such a huge improvement on what they've had. And that's certainly at getting a quarter from a team that is going to play solid defense. And I just don't know what to expect from a Crystal Palace. Often been playing better. And the win against Man City will probably made this line bigger than it should be. And that makes me want to back Wolves even more. Chelsea then hosts Burnley, giving a goal in 3/4. A lot of questions about Chelsea's front line and their health. What we don't question is that they're going to make it really hard to score. And I'm not really sure that Burnley will be able to score. If Burnley can't score, then trying to keep 2 out of the net is going to be really, really challenging. They may certainly get a goal. Burnley themselves, but I'm not sure that I want to step in the way, at least until 2, and I'm not even sure then that I want to. Brentford then hosting Norwich, giving a full goal with all the Norwich side. I rode the Norwich Express last weekend, and unfortunately, they are this really, really bad blunder by Tim Krul, their goalkeeper. If he's not at 100%, then they have no shot. How they create offense is a mystery. And ultimately, I think the idea that Josh Sargent has any sort of chance to play for America should be thrown into the trash, because he is awful, creates no offense. He's literally a defensive midfielder playing striker. Brighton then hosts Newcastle, another 1-goal spread. All the juice on the Newcastle side is I think it's a little bit higher than it should be. And 1 is not really something everyone wants to do. I think Brighton's defense is really good. Newcastle's is not. I don't know where Newcastle is going to score here, but ultimately, I think the Brighton are a much better side that play good defense, and I'm not sure that I want to go against the Newcastle offense that isn't really expected to do much. And once that first goal goes in, it's very hard to keep the second out. Next is Everton hosting Tottenham on Sunday. We have Everton getting a quarter of a goal at home with all their side. defense has been a disaster against Wolves, against Watford, one of the more puzzling results. Thought they would bounce back, and I'm not sure that's happened. The Everton offense hasn't been doing anything without Calvert-Lewin. And even when he returns, though, the Richarlison Calvert-Lewin effect didn't really work last season under Ancelotti. Doesn't seem like it's going to work on the new manager, Rafa Benitez, who seems to be more defensive. I'm not going to say about that one, but Tottenham giving a quarter on the road is kind of laughable based on how they've been playing. Certainly the bigger Harry Kane and Youngman's son, but ultimately Harry's been a disaster. Hasn't done anything. Clearly doesn't want to be there. Maybe didn't even train this summer. Like, hard to say. But he's been awful. And so seeing them as a road favorite is certainly making me want to look at a home dog, though I'm kind of learning the home dog is really even in battles of shit versus shit, excuse my French, it's not something you want to do. Leeds then hosting Leicester, also on Sunday morning. Currently, Leicester is it's pick 'em, but a little more juice on the Leicester road team side, and should be are not good. Beat Norwich, but what does that even say? On the road as a favorite, didn't deserve their favorite. Took a lead, gave it away right away on a corner kick, and then had a hilarious mistake by a goalkeeper on a shot that was right to him, right in the center of the goal. Not much here at Pick'em, though. Arsenal then hosting Watford, another line I get to calculate live. I'm guessing it's probably 1.25, 1.5, something like that. Watford really sat back and tried to counterattack, use their speed against Southampton. I think Dennis was a big issue for them. But I think defense is a big issue for them. Their offense seems to be Sarr trying to create on a break, running as fast as he can to try to square it to nobody. A great sign. And I think they might be a team that I just really need to avoid forever. Arsenal are young, getting better, getting more seasoned every match that they play. Probably not one I want to stay of. And then the last one is West Ham hosting Liverpool, getting 3/4 of the goal, but Liverpool are crashing teams. I don't know that West Ham, especially playing on 2 days less, maybe less advantage, having to play Europa League while Liverpool played either Tuesday or Wednesday in Champions League. I think Wednesday. Whatever, the rest advantage is big. Travel doesn't matter. Jurgen Klopp basically said they don't even train. They just basically recover from their matches, and they're playing so well. I don't think they need any training. That's probably going to not make my card. Moving along to Spain, we'll go to La Liga. Today on Friday, we have Athletic Club hosting Cadiz. Another one I get to calculate. Lovely. It looks like 1.25. No offense. Look like a team that might be fighting relegation, and they sort of did it last season, but it got off start. I think they're going to be in a real trouble because they can't score. Their defense has not been as good. And even when they get a hat trick, they couldn't hold on for 3 points, which is pretty bad at Villarreal, if correctly. Athletic Club, great defense. They are a little bit leaky or scary as a favorite, especially above a goal, but I'm not sure that's enough for me to want to back Cadiz. Moving to Saturday, Espanyol's in Granada. Espanyol giving half of a goal. It's bigger than I expected. Ruled it must. Got the red card in the 2 matches ago. Missed the last one. Their offense really sputtered without him. Losing, giving up 2 goals to a Tafe offense that can't score. Maybe they're lucky. They were pretty lucky. Still, that's really not something you want to see. And Espanyol's offense seems to be bundling goals for kicks that hit the bar or hit the post or something like that. I'm not sure that's the most sustainable offense ever. And is a half a goal favorite against a team that's been sticking around in La Liga for a few years now. Qualified Europa League a couple of years ago. Seems a little big. But with that said, this is not the same Granada team. They saw their players. Their loanees are gone, and that's a concern. But certainly a good start to their match on Monday night against on the road at Levante. Back-to-back road doesn't sound great either, but ultimately I think soccer is a little bit less demanding than a sport, college athletes, or a sport like American football. But certainly getting half of a goal from an Espanyol offense team very good is something that's interesting to me. Celta de Vigo then hosting Barcelona, getting a goal at home, way shorter than I would expect. But Barcelona are playing so poorly that it kind of makes sense. It seems like Xavi is going to be introduced, or maybe has been already. Not really sure what to take from him in a couple days because he certainly wasn't on the sidelines of Champions League midweek. The other hand, seemed to be getting older. Resting Iago Aspas. I mean, there's been a fixture condition as we head into the international break after this weekend, but ultimately getting a quarter at home seems too short for me. Alaves then hosting Levante. Currently Pick'em with all the juice in the Alaves side. Should be climbing to it. And I thought might even be a little higher than that. Alaves are not a great outfit. Been playing better lately. Looked dead in the water to start the season and fought relegation last year. But Levante seemed to be that team that haven't won in forever. So that's a big concern. Then so not really interested in the dog Levante until they figure out something. New manager. The old manager was great, but hadn't won in forever. So they got rid of him. Not sure the new manager is doing much, and the team looks like they're in big trouble. Real Madrid then hosting Rayo Vallecano in a Madrid derby. Looks like Real Madrid giving a goal and a quarter with all the juice on their side, climbing to a goal and a half. Rayo have been playing pretty well, I got to say. After a pretty poor start to the season, got up to speed pretty quickly. Results haven't been as great lately, but ultimately they're pretty good. Scoring punch with Falcao up front. Real Madrid, and the problem with Real Madrid is they're going to have a ton of possession. Rayo are probably going to try to be as pragmatic as possible and try to limit opportunities. Real Madrid are good at converting those. And once they get that goal, the second's a lot easier to get. Now, if you're backing Rayo, you either need a 1-0 loss here to win a little bit, half of a bet, or for them to score. And I think Falcao certainly has the ability to do that when he can. And against the Real Madrid defense back line that hasn't been as strong, lost in play. Alaba seems to be more of a left back now in his life than a center back, in my opinion. We'll be looking at Rayo, especially if this climbs to a goal and a half or even higher. Moving to Sunday, Villarreal hosting Getafe. Villarreal giving a full goal, which I don't know how they're doing that with their offense, but Getafe has no offense of their own. Got 2 goals in their last match, which probably is about the amount that they'll get for an entire, just kidding, month maybe a couple of match days. Definitely a couple of matches maybe for a month. On the road, Villarreal, I mean, should be a team that win this match. I think trying to get more than one is going to be hard for Villarreal based on their injury situation up front. Danjou carrying their offense without Moreno, but he's pretty limited. Getafe's defense is always going to be tough, physical, et cetera, as long as they're keeping all their players on the field and not getting a red card. That might be one worth looking at, especially getting the full goal of insurance at +1. Valencia then hosting Atleti, currently getting half of a goal. Atleti haven't been pretty, have 2 back-to-back losses to Liverpool in matches that they were pretty competitive in, specifically the home match, maybe not so much on the road. Might look a little bit worse. They did handle Betis last weekend in the rain, really didn't get many chances to bet it. Betis have been trying to balance their fixtures with a big derby coming up that we'll get to in a second. Valencia have been very good, had a good win in their last match, if I remember correctly, but ultimately started the year off way better and posted back to their kind of fledgling status compared to the big club that they are, with Bordalas potentially being on his way out. I don't know. They brought him in, so maybe he has a little bit of leash. I'm just not sure that they're. I don't love Atleti as a road favorite at all, but that's one I want to play. Mallorca then hosting Elche, giving half of a goal with all the juice on the Elche side. Figure this should be a quarter. Mallorca's offense just isn't really reliable. I think their defense has been good. We trust how they're going to score goals. Elche aren't great, but are recently promoted side, stayed up, and added some players and do have some offensive ability, more so than they did before. Also fought Real Madrid pretty hard in the last match day last weekend. Looking at them at half of a goal, if it stays there, a quarter is probably enough for me to pass. Osasuna then hosting Real Sociedad, getting a quarter at home. Thought Osasuna played Sevilla better than the result ended up coming. Goalkeeper injury, and I really need to watch out for those because the big mistakes seem to be goalkeepers that aren't playing much. I think it's a tough position to play, tough to have camaraderie or cohesion with a defensive back line. Also, big mistakes when you haven't been playing a lot are more likely. So that's one that I need to worry about. So we're going to check there, but the Sociedad offense has not been very good without Oyarzabal. I don't know that he's going to be back for this match, and being a road favorite seems a little bit expensive. Real Betis then hosting Sevilla in the Derby de Andalusia. Currently, Sevilla pick them with all the juice on the road. which says something because this from going to 2 stadiums within the last month, Betis are a much easier crowd. I mean, literally threw a cigarette at me, hit me in the arm because they thought I was rooting for Bayer Leverkusen, like I'm from Germany. Sevilla as a quarter goal favorite is probably where this is headed. I'm not sure that Betis are good enough for me to want to back them with less rest, even at home, with a pretty crazy environment. Moving to Serie A, today we have Empoli hosting Genoa, a quarter of a goal, which is saying something for Empoli, considering they are a recently promoted side that aren't, in my opinion. Genoa certainly have plenty of problems defending, problems scoring. Did look good in 0-0 against Venezia last weekend, but ultimately getting a quarter with all the juice on the home side is saying something. If Genoa climbs to a half, that might make my card. Probably don't want it to be there. That half of a goal would be too much, in my opinion. Moving to Spezia hosting Torino. Torino giving a quarter on the road with all the juice on their side, likely climbing to a half. A little smaller than I expected. Spezia, they're going to try to play right up, and unless their game plan, they're going to try to score goals and outscore Torino. And I don't think you want to give Torino any space because they're good and they can probably punish the lower sides in the league. Maybe not the big ones, the big boys, but yeah, Spezia won't make my card, I don't think, unless it continues to climb. Juve hosting Fiorentina, giving a full goal at home. Fiorentina, I think, are interesting to me, +1, but their offense seems to be really, really limited, and really Gonzalez. Juve are getting a little bit healthier, and Dybala coming back and playing pretty well, considering the amount of time he was laid out. They have been Allegri's been deciding defense this whole season, it seems. I'm not sure if he's going to maybe take the parking brake off a little bit on his team because they played pretty well midweek. But ultimately that's playing a ride, and that might be the reason for it. Do want to see what Fiorentina's back line looks like if you want to invest. Getting +1 is a big number, and that push on 1 is pretty important. Cagliari then host Atalanta, getting a full goal. Atalanta on the road, giving a full goal with all the juice, looking like that might climb to a quarter. Cagliari, the Sardinian, the Islanders haven't been playing great. Have been fighting relegation for years now, haven't been playing well. But ultimately, Atalanta, where they're laying that type of number, where there are offensive issues, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Defensive issues in terms of health, and as this keeps the interest I have in Cagliari. Moving to Sunday, Venezia hosting Roma, getting a full goal at home. I mean, Roma's been a disaster in Conference League, maybe not taking that as seriously, and certainly Mourinho saying what he says about things just certainly isn't helping that he can only trust 13 players. Well, 11 players, that means 2 reserves, or maybe a keeper. I don't know. Venezia played pretty good defense. Genoa certainly are going to have another battle in front of them and need to defend, because Roma's offense has been pretty good, but getting a full goal is hard to look the other way from. Then hosting Bologna, it looks like Samp is a slight favorite, quarter goal favorite at home. Probably deserved, probably where it should be, and probably something I should look away from. I guess always interested in the road dog getting a quarter because of where the game's being played. Sampdoria is not great, and they're pretty old. Udinese then hosting Sassuolo. Pick them right now with all the juice Udinese side. Maybe it climbs to a quarter. I think the Sassuolo offense is much better. Defense is questionable, but Udinese defense really hasn't been great for this start to the season, and that's an issue when having to lay a quarter of a goal required to win a match when your offense is inferior. Lazio then hosting Salernitana, giving a goal and a half, coming off the tough Marseille match that they held on for a point. Probably justified result, maybe even deserved a loss. Did have a 2-1 lead until the 80-something minute. Salernitana, I'm not sure they're a team that are back here because Lazio can go for 4 or 5. Salernitana, I'm not sure how many they can get. Napoli then giving a goal and a quarter, coming off Europa League. Going to zap some legs a little bit. Verona have been playing so well. I'm see no reason to get off of their bandwagon, though ultimately Napoli is a really tough side to play against because Napoli can punish you, can score goals, and Verona are going to leave themselves open quite a bit for a lot of this match. AC Milan then hosting Inter in the big Milan derby this weekend. Ultimately, I guess they share the same stadium, so not really a field, I don't think, unless the tickets are split up. Maybe they're 50-50. I'm not exactly sure. Only a match to attend someday, but Inter as a quarter goal favorite, I think, is exactly what I made it. I think they're better. Are they a quarter goal better in a shared stadium? I'm not sure. Neutral-ish field. If there are more tickets here for AC Milan, if this is truly a home game in terms of stuff, I'll be looking at AC Milan. Moving to the Bundesliga, as we were trying to wrap this up, speed. Another match I'm trying to figure out the spread. Looks like Gladbach are a pick'em with more juice at Mainz today. Gladbach have been playing well. Results have been there. The 5-0 thrashing of Bayern Munich was incredible. I'm still not sure that their offense is that great, nor that they're that good of a team. And Mainz are going to play defense, make it hard on Gladbach to score. But I pick them, not much for me to do. Moving to Stuttgart, giving half of a goal to Bielefeld with what offense? I don't know how Stuttgart can give anything like that number. Bielefeld certainly don't have much of an offense themselves, but a draw wins a full bet. So that's try to not be on my card, but it's going to be hard for me to look away. Bochum then hosting Hoffenheim, getting half a goal at home. Hoffenheim's offense has been so good at home. I'm not sure if that will translate well on the road, and being half on the road is asking a fair amount of an offense that's pretty inconsistent when it travels. Bochum, have shown that they're just trying to win matches 0-0, which is, you don't win those. So how to more? I mean, there's certainly chinks in the Hoffenheim armor, but I'm not sure that I want to play. Bayern then hosting Freiburg, giving 2.25 goals at home. Freiburg have been they're the only undefeated team in the Bundesliga remaining, have played really well so far, and are I guess the team I support in the league, if you can even call it that. But I do have a jersey, so whatever, a kit. 2.25 is a big number. Freiburg nearly drew there, I think, in Munich last season, have been playing better than anybody. It's a huge number. It's just, how do you get in front of the Bayern Munich train? I just don't know, because it feels like it will run you over. Wolfsburg then hosting Augsburg, giving a full goal. And that's a big number for Wolfsburg to lay. They had some incredible goals in midweek Champions League. Played the early one on Tuesday, so that's good for their legs. Augsburg, their defense is improving-ish. Offense is still not really doable. 1-0 seems like a very likely result here, and that would push your bet. And really, if you could get a goal from Augsburg, you're in a good position, because I don't see Wolfsburg getting 3, and I think 2 will be challenged as well. Leipzig then hosting Dortmund, giving half of a goal, which is saying something, but Haaland probably not a goal for this match. And Leipzig playing better. Dortmund are in trouble. Hummel's getting sent off at halftime in Champions League doesn't affect this match, but certainly does affect confidence, character of the side. Leipzig have had a terrible time beating though. So based on history and recent history, that Leipzig never really does anything to Dortmund. I think getting half of a goal in Dortmund is got to be interesting, but their defense is so problematic at this point. Moving to Sunday, Hertha Berlin getting half of a goal from Leverkusen. Hertha is like a defense that's really hard to trust. Leverkusen with a really good performance in midweek against Sevilla. Certainly are going to be an issue in the early match on Sunday, but I don't know if I want to get in the way of them with Hertha's questionable defense and very quiet offense. Cologne hosting Union, giving 1/4 of a goal. Union's had to play the same thing. I think I trust Union to score more off of set pieces. And I certainly trust their defense more. So getting 1/4 seems pretty interesting to me. Last one in the Bundesliga for this weekend is Fürth hosting Frankfurt, getting half of a goal at home. I'm just not sure that Fürth are even a Bundesliga level side. They haven't won forever. Hard to really back a team like that, even though Frankfurt are not great. And last but not least, we go to Liga. We have Lens hosting Troyes. Goal favorite home for Lens on Friday. Troyes are looking like a recently promoted side. I'm not sure they can hang around. Lens are going to really step on their neck the whole time and push forward for goals. Maybe getting a full goal is interesting, but I'm not sure it's interesting enough for me. Moving to Saturday, Lille hosting Angers. Angers a 3/4 goal favorite. Excuse me. 3/4 goal favorite at home. All the juice on Angers on the road. Lille had a huge win at Sevilla this week in Champions League. I don't know how they follow it up because it seemed pretty fortunate. They do have some goal scorers, for sure. Angers had a really took a 1-0 lead and collapsed against Nice due to some pretty bad luck deflections and also an awesome goal from Delors. I think Angers are interesting to me just because I don't really believe in Lille. But 3-quarter goal seems a little bit not great to me, and it seems like that's going to fall to a half. Bordeaux then hosting PSG on Saturday. Bordeaux getting a goal and a half. PSG just looks so disinterested, but maybe they've been for like 3 seasons now, so hard to say what about them. But Bordeaux getting a goal and a half. I mean, they're really good at falling behind and then trying to come back and tie it up. They've been good at, but it doesn't seem like a winning scenario against PSG. Moving to Marseille, hosting Metz. Marseille giving a goal and a quarter. Mets have sold off all their good pieces. They're really looking like a potential relegation side, and I think Marseille at a goal and a quarter seems like they could their price, name their tune, name their score. Nantes then hosting Strasbourg, giving a quarter of a goal. Strasbourg have been playing really well. Lines have been reflecting that, so I'm a little bit surprised to see that they're getting a quarter, though it's very juiced. Definitely interested in Strasbourg. Lorient then hosting Brest, giving a quarter of a goal with all the juice on the Brest side. It seems a little short to me. I feel like that should be a quarter of a goal and close there. Reims then hosting Monaco, getting half of a goal with all the juice on the Reims side. I really like how Reims this season, I think they've added some offense. Their manager is a good defensive mind, and Monaco just really don't look good. Their offense has been struggling all season. I think Kevin Vollen has mentioned the low blocks has been a problem. They see that here. Half a goal favorite on the road against a pretty good team seems a little pricey to me, though it looks like that might be trending to a quarter. Saint Etienne then hosting Clermont, currently pick them with all the homes at Etienne side. Clermont, if they get a quarter, I'll be interested because I think Saint Etienne are bottom of the table, can't seem to win, and Clermont have gotten a ton of respect from the market, are going to play on foot, and that's something you want to take against a team that can't score against you. Because Saint Etienne are kind of like Bordeaux and equalize most of the time. Nice then hosting Montpellier, giving a full goal, and that seems way larger than I expect. Nice with a pretty fortunate come from behind victory against Angers last weekend. Montpellier are going to have some defensive issues, but their offense has been great, and I think they've been playing really well despite selling what everyone thought was selling the farm. And last but not least, Rennes hosting Lyon. Pick'em right now, a little more juice than Lyon, who played so well in Europa League. Liga has been a little more difficult, and Rennes are good, but Rennes also had to play Conference League this week against a team no one's ever heard of. Questions about legs, fatigue, all those sort of things, but ultimately it's kind of about whoever is more rested here, and at Pick'em, there's not much for me to do. So that is match 12, 13, whatever, wherever we are. Episode 53 of Betting the Pitch. I'm the real_G Warner, and look forward to seeing you soon. Hit me up, the real_G Warner on Twitter if you got any questions. Bye.